I'm Elaine.
And I'm Rachel.
And welcome to
Legs Out.
And away we go. This is the podcast where we tell you about Formula One our way. The races, the cars, the drivers. We are obsessed.
And here's why you should be too.
Hi, Rachel.
Hi, Elaine.
You're right next to me, but you're also on my screen.
I know, this is one of those strange things that it's like, do I look at you in real life or do I look at you in the computer?
And what do you think,
this
audience?
Choreography we haven't rehearsed yet.
Yeah, exactly. The choreo is, look here, unless you say something that really upsets me, and then I'm going to look you in the eyes. Yep, yeah.
We have a dancer friend that always says, look in the eyeballs. Right in the eyeballs. And it's just made it right into our vocabulary.
We're going to do our best to look one place, which we'll fail at epically. But
Indeed.
Here we are. So, Rachel, how was your weekend?
It was good. How was your weekend?
Good. But how about that Grand Prix, y'all?
You startled me. It was spectacular. Your shouting is well warranted because there was a lot of shouting. I'm sure on everyone's couches in Canada. Montreal, I'm sure, was like, the noise decibel has raised this weekend.
We have risen the temperature.
Indeed.
Just by our screaming.
Yes. Not the track temperature, ironically, but we'll get to that later.
Oh, yes, yes. And this is also ironic because Rachel went to Cancun this weekend. Yeah. What was more exciting, Cancun or Canada?
Oh, so I said to my husband, I was like, I'm going to need you to stop scheduling vacations. Well, I'm very excited about it. I'm delighted to be here. But please stop scheduling vacations when Canada happens, because I think this is the second year that Canada has been happening, and we're like trying to be on vacation, and I'm like, but I need to watch this Grand Prix.
Listen, don't sleep on Canada. No. I feel like I have slept on Canada in the past. That time, oh yeah, that time is gone, baby. My eyes are opened. I'm Team Canada all the way.
Yeah. Can I tell you a story about my time in Mexico?
Yes.
Okay, so I have to like preface this by saying I don't like swimming, the dark, spiders, caves, not being able to see what's underneath me when I'm swimming, right? Okay, so we're all clear on that.
Yeah.
I also really don't like missing out on cool opportunities because of my fear, because I love an adventure despite all those things. So with that in mind, I decided that one of our excursions was going to be swimming in a cenote, which is what Cancun is like known for. And if you don't know what that is, it's like a either semi or fully covered cave that has fresh water that comes in. And it's this really beautiful, kind of ethereal, little bit spooky place. There's got a lot of things going on, but I was like, well, I'm not going to miss this, right? Right? I'm fine. I can do this. So we start in and it's like lovely. I can see underneath my feet. There's little swimming little fishes, but they're tiny. I have a life jacket. There's lights everywhere so I can see. The guide is really great. I'm feeling very good. I'm feeling very comfortable. I was like, cool, I can do this. The stairs are right there if I need to evacuate from fear. Panic attack. It's fine. No, I'm good. Then we proceed to swim into a new portion of the cenote that is completely dark and covered entirely, and I can no longer see the exit. And I'm like, it's fine. I'm doing fine, right? Then the guide says, there's a 6-legged spider kind of thing that's a little bit like a cross with a scorpion that lives in here. And I thought, he's joking. The man was not joking. The man was not joking. So we proceed to swim about this very dark cave in search of this spider, and then he closes the flashlight, and I was like, well, this is how I die. I was fine. I got out later and was like, everything is good. Everything is great. What a beautiful experience that was. Cut later to dinner, and we had to make our dinner reservation pause the Canadian Grand Prix at around lap 26.
No.
Yeah.
Of so all the laps.
Exactly. So we're sitting at dinner, and I was like, just so you know, if anyone speaks even a tiny bit about cars, I will be fleeing this table. And my husband looks at me and he said, let me get this straight. So today you faced your fears of dark, of swimming, of spiders, of caves. But what is going to send you running is someone spoiling an F1 race.
Yes.
Correct.
That's the priority. That's the priority. I only have one question. Why would you swim towards the spiders?
I didn't know. And I told the guide afterwards, I was like, so I'm a little bit scared of the dark. I'm a little bit scared of swimming, but that's all fine. What I really cannot abide is spiders. And he was like, yeah, that's why we don't tell people. I was like,
Yep.
So when I drowned, if we had actually seen one, thank God we did not.
You didn't see one, so you don't actually know what it looks like.
No, which is an absolute deliverance from the heavens, because I would not be here. It would be leg out and away we go.
Rachel's leg left over.
No, it would just been, well, I guess the math doesn't math there because you still have 2 legs, but
3 legs. And away we go.
Down a podcaster, because I would have deceased.
Away she goes.
Yeah, exactly. Into the underworld. That's what happened.
Rachel.
I was already at the entrance. But I survived.
Yeah! And you're here to tell the tale.
And I was scared about having Formula 1 spoilers. So let's get to it.
Yeah. Right away. Before we get into the nitty gritty, make sure you're rated, reviewed, subscribed. Do those things, please. We would love you for that. Let's get into general reactions. I don't even feel like I can start right away with like, oh, let's go through sprint and qualify. I just need, give me your condensed reaction to the whole weekend.
Mercedes flashpoint, where is the rain? Oh, that's it. There you go. What about you?
Those were big bullet points.
Yeah.
I'm just going to say it in a sentence, which is that this weekend made me believe in Formula 1 again.
Oh, great words.
I feel like I had lost faith a little bit, and I didn't realize how much my faith had wavered. And here I am, ready to commit myself to the cult of Formula 1 all over again.
If you were following from last week's analogy, you're now in marriage. We've left the situationship. You have fully married Formula 1.
Oh, yeah. I don't care if he's gone 86 weeks of the year. I am involved with this person. This is my mate for life.
I'm going to take a small moment to plug the fact that next week we will have a book-related guest. Madge Morrill will be joining us. She is the author of Slipstream, which is an incredible book. And the next book in that series, called The Paddock Club, will be coming out this summer. And so we're going to get to chat with her about those 2 books, about her Formula 1 fandom, and about the fact that, well, no, I'll save that. There's actually a fun little spoiler that we'll get to talk to her about. But anyway, you mentioned mates, and my mind went romantasy, and then I went romance author, and then I went Madge Morrill.
That's it. I'm in a romance novel with Formula 1 now.
Yeah,
and I'm sure Madge will be able to talk to us about that and her love. I can't wait to have that. Do you also want to give them a little disclaimer? We're at Rachel's humble abode, and you're getting your deck redone.
I am, but you guys don't know that. What we're actually doing is we are auditioning for the fact that one day we will be in the pit lane.
Yes.
So if you hear a saw, no, you didn't. That is actually a tire gun. That's a pit crew mechanic. It
is not a hammer. It is tires falling from the jack.
Yeah, because that happens all the time. Anyway, the Canadian race.
All right. Where should we start? I mean, how do we even...
do you want to dive into the biggest thing that happened, which is that George and Kimi are no longer, they're like buddy, oh, this is my younger brother who I want to bring up in the world and teach him about math and about Mercedes.
That is actually exactly where I would like to start.
Great.
Yep. All right. So let's talk about Kimi and Russell's situationship.
It is not a healthy one, I would say, because they've decided to take chunks out of each other all weekend long, starting in the sprint, which we'll just shoehorn the results in there. George won.
Yes.
Because he and Kimi were battling the whole time. Kimi made what was, I think, his worst move of the weekend. And
maybe year, honestly.
Maybe year. Well, we'll give him space, but hopefully.
So far.
Yes. And in doing that, went off track for like the 14th time in the sprint and lost the place not only to George Russell, but also to McLaren, Lando Norris.
What a fake out. I'm just going to jump right to this surprise, which is that the McLarens were much faster for the sprint than I thought they were going to be.
For the sprint. for the sprint.
That's the key word.
Keywords there.
Yes. And I think for the sprint, in this point in their relationship, their situationship, I think that Kimi's inexperience shows here. His immaturity shows here. He is so fucking excited. He is a Yorkshire Terrier. He wants it. He wants it. He wants it. And George is like, this is how it's done. This is where he shines in his. He was a little ruffled, but you could tell he was much calmer and more patient.
Yes, his racecraft has never been something that I laud as like his main skill, but I do have to give him credit for the fact that the amount of battling that they were doing, is maybe more than we've ever seen, because this regulation set is allowing the kind of yo-yoing, allowing the close following. And so usually you get a battle and it's like, great, it's for a couple laps.
Yep.
There's a couple key moves and then it's done. That was not the case this weekend because it was pass, repass, both because of the cars, but then also the tire temperatures were really making it hard for the car in front.
Oh, there she goes. There she is.
Love it. I was delighted to see tire temperatures once again. But then the second point to that is, I forgot. The second being that he kept his calm in the midst of that pass and pass.
Yes.
That's where I think when you say maturity, that is where George still holds the trophy. He's battled a lot of people who are intense battlers. And Kimi will one day be excellent at racecraft. I feel like even over the weekend, you saw him be like, okay, I've learned, I'm going to implement these lessons, because by the race, he wasn't throwing like insane moves around the outside.
I think he knew, and you want to hear why I think that transpired?
Why?
This also coincides with our new merch. Listen up. I have designed a new merch. If you are interested in purchasing this merch, please let us know so that I can post it online. And this merch is a big photo of Toto Wolff, and it says, "Yes, Daddy." Because Daddy Wolff came on that radio and was like, "Antonelli, you cool it right now. Hey, son, listen. I know you're ticked off. Not on the radio. Just race. We'll talk later. I know you're pissed. Your brother stole your toy. He's being unfair. He's not really sharing. We'll talk about it after the race." Yes, Daddy.
Yeah.
Daddy Wolff vibes I will take all day long.
After we just did that series, learning about each of the team principles, this is a moment that Toto Wolff's experience, his maturity, is going to shine, because the man has managed quite a few teammate dynamics, principally being Nico Rosberg and Lewis Hamilton. And caps haven't been thrown, but there were headrests and gloves thrown this weekend, but crucially not at each other yet.
Yes.
But I believe that Toto Wolff is knowing that he's going to have to, like, proverbially strap in, buckle in. Yeah.
Proverbially. Wait.
Did I still get it wrong?
Yeah, proverbially.
This is one of those times where I read a lot, as maybe people know. Sometimes my pronunciation's a little off.
This is good formulation lab.
Yep.
Proverbially.
I'm really intelligent, guys.
You are. This is the thing. She is incredibly intelligent. You already know that.
Thank you. Tell me more.
Yes, I will. The proverbs of Formula One. We'll create them.
Oh, they can go in the book wherever Charles is keeping his. Anyway, Toto Wolff basically is strapping in because he knows that this is going to be an ongoing dynamic that he's going to have to manage. And I think when I said flashpoint, I mean that strongly, because I don't think this was just so Canada was high pressure, we're going to move on and we're going to revert back to our previous relationship. I think this is now either status quo or even the next shelf for an escalation of chaos. And as a non-Mercedes fan, or as a Kimi fan, I am a Kimi fan.
Yeah.
But like largely I'm kind of a neutral in this. I'm like, fight!
Oh, hands down. So can we move right to the race?
Yes, let's go.
Let's keep going. Results. P1 Kimi, P2 Lewis, P3 Max. What happened to George, you might say? Rachel.
Yeah.
Do you want to give me your thoughts first?
First, I thought when he pulled over after this intense battle, once again, between himself and Kimi, I thought that he had made a big error, that one of those many, many lockups that we saw had turned into a mistake that had taken him into the grass. He'd broken his suspension. He's out by his own error. And I saw him throw that headset.
Headrest.
Headrest, thank you. Yeah. He wasn't a commentator. He was a driver in this moment.
He would have, though. Yeah. He would have pulled a Toto and
exactly.
bashed that thing.
I was like, wow, this has confirmed all my thoughts about you. Honestly, I'm so judging you. And then I found out that it was a car issue, and I have never had such a role reversal of feelings.
Wait,
because
really?
I feel so bad for him. So bad.
What Rachel's referring to, I'm sure you've seen it, but we'll just mention it. It is that Rachel... Nope. No.
I was driving the Mercedes car.
Rachel pulled over.
And the guys, George Russell.
Russell's car stopped due to a mechanical failure. He immediately got out of that car after banging the steering wheel multiple times, tossed his headrest out of the car and threw it. Not like tossed it out. He took that sucker and he fucking chucked it down the road. And then he got out almost through the steering wheel, put the steering wheel back in, might have kicked the wheel. He was livid.
Yeah.
So, you think that that was warranted because he was so mad that the...
Warranted is the wrong word.
Okay.
Because I understand. I still don't think it is the right choice to make, but I very much can understand knowing that, like, let's set the stakes.
Right.
This is supposed to be his track.
Right.
His much younger teammate, who's only been in F1 for 2 seasons, is all of a sudden actually at risk of taking what I think he walked into this year saying, me, George Russell, this is my year. I'm going to win the world championship.
He had that energy.
I think everyone in the paddock had that energy for him. Like, it just felt like this was fate. And that is the wonderful thing about Formula One, is it's like, and subplot. Yep. Here comes Kimi Antonelli, who you thought was going to be just a little bit of a trouble for you. He is becoming capital T trouble. We come to Canada, where this is supposed to be, like I said, George's track. And instead, he's battling the entire weekend by, like, what's it called? By just, like, the skin of his teeth. Thank you. Yes. Ahead of Kimi. He is ultimately coming out on top over Kimi, but it is not the easy walk in the park that I think he hoped.
No.
So this brings us to the point that I'm like, hey, maybe don't throw things onto an active track. However, that is such a frustrating thing to happen.
Okay, I'm going to pull up exactly what George said in a press conference last year about Max Verstappen.
I should have known.
Hold here. Elevator music. And we're back. Thank you. Rachel found that so much quicker than I did.
I'm really good at Google search words. Keywords.
And she Googled... What did you Google?
George Russell comments about Max Verstappen anger, and it brought it right up.
That's it. Okay. So just an amendment I said from last year. This is from 2 years ago. So 2024, which famously, I believe this is when they took the dinner picture after the last race, and someone, I think it was Alex Albon, posted it. And then in the comments he said, and as you can imagine, the two people who hate each other weren't seated next to each other. Something like that.
I love Alex Albon and his very frank humor.
Yes.
He's like, why would I shy away from talking about that?
Exactly.
So what do you say?
The actual quote is, Russell claimed that the Red Bull driver threatened to purposefully go out of his way to crash into me and put me on my head in the wall. And he added in Abu Dhabi, as soon as something doesn't go his way, he lashes out with unnecessary anger and borderline violence. You know what didn't age well, George Russell? That comment. And I've seen it. There's an account on Threads called Yuki Tsunochill.
Oh, cute.
So I just want to shout out to them. They posted that clip side by side with the skull emoji. This didn't age well, to Russell's Darth Vader looking clip where he is glaring at the... I've never seen him enter his villain era quite like this.
It was very cinematic of him. I should have absolutely known that we were going to have a Max Verstappen quote, just general involvement here. Because I was like, oh, he got fined £5,000. He apologized and he explained. I should have known. With you, you're going to be like, wow, actually, Max.
Listen, if you are going to come for the Formula One people, if you're going to come for my man Max, you better have receipts. And I have receipts, bitch.
The receipt that I will also just bring as a neutral. I don't know. Just as a neutral is in 2025. Max Verstappen did drive into the side of George Russell. So I will say that throwing a headrest is different than weaponizing your car.
Yes.
However, this was not a good move from any of the above. If you were a young child, A, probably don't listen to our podcast. We cuss a lot, but
and by we she means me.
But B, do not follow the example of either of these men in these scenarios. But you know what? We're adults.
Yes.
So we can see the fact that this person is acting in anger. Maybe we don't condone the act, but we do understand the emotion. Period. Yeah, that's it. That's all I have to say. Both of them act better sometimes, but also I really enjoy your competitive advantage, your competitive vigor.
Yeah.
I love it. Keep doing it because it's great watching.
I think George Russell is a hypocritical POS, but am I going to enjoy this villain era between him and Kimi? Oh, serve it to me on toast.
Oh.
I mean, it's like a little caviar butter on toast. That's
delicious.
what I want to eat, and I'm here for it. And because of the crash, I've heard several people say, oh, they're going to have to instill papaya rules, team rules.
Dear God, please, no.
I think that's not going to happen, and I hope that it will never happen because here's a question. Do you think that they would have put each other in the wall? Do you think one of them would have eventually crashed?
I don't know if it would have happened this weekend, but I do think it will happen at some point this season. I do not think that this is going to be just, like I said, a calm reversion back to we're buddies.
Yeah.
I feel like it maybe could have this weekend because it's just at a certain point, your brain is so taxed from, I'm in front. Oh, but I'm locking up because my tires are cold. And then I get passed.
Yeah.
And then the frustration of trying to pass again. Like, it was building to a big old point. What about you? What'd you think?
Yeah, I definitely thought there was a point where Kimi might lose his cool. I mean, he did keep it together, but the aggressiveness is definitely something that this is like vintage Verstappen aggressiveness. And I think that's what you have to have. You have to be so competitive to be in this sport. You own it. It is yours. You are clawing tooth and nail to get that trophy.
Well, and there is a flip side to the youth that we keep talking about, as it's like immaturity. The upside is the common phrase, you don't know what you don't know.
Yep.
And so you have this lack of fear, this lack of like, oh, I have put myself in the wall there before by this mistake, and therefore I'm gonna like maybe draw it in a little bit as I go through. You don't know.
Yeah.
And you are just pure speed, pure vigor, pure rushing ball of teenage adrenaline, really.
Yes.
And so I am really enjoying the fact that we get to see him at this point, and we will probably see him in 10 years as a more polished but incredibly fast driver, and that's going to be fun to watch too. But boy, do I love it right now.
Yes. Your next bullet point is WTF McLaren.
Yeah, which you pointed out was exactly the same bullet point that I wrote in Miami. So overall, McLaren, do better.
I agree with your bullet point title, which is WTF, because Piastri, what for the love of God, are you ready to fillet your man? Because he's the one who went right into that side pod for Alex Albon.
Alex Albon, too. Yep. I was so disappointed. Yes, I am ready to fillet him. That was not his best judged move, and I'm going to give him a rare piece of rather strong criticism.
Ooh.
I do not think Oscar Piastri knows how to battle in the midfield. I think he is a great wheel-to-wheel racer at the front of the field. I don't think that he fares well in the midfield, partially because he had like half a season in Formula One where he was there, and then he got elevated right past, and he was at the front of a championship. I feel like he missed kind of a important factor of his building by being in the melee.
I could not agree more. I am so proud of you for coming to that conclusion. I think it's absolutely accurate because we lose. Yes, he's very technical, but what you need to fight in the midfield is a little bit more than technical. You have to be super gritty. You have to be even more competitive and aggressive than you normally would be. And I think that's what Piastri lacks a little bit. Maybe I haven't really fully explained my dislike for him, but I think that's...
Oh, you have.
Oh, well, okay. So from like a textbook standpoint, I think that might be one of the reasons.
Yeah.
I don't think I think he's white bread. He needs to be like cinnamon raisin.
I don't like raisins, so I don't want him to be that. But I agree. I see that for sure. I actually think I have a slightly different shade of how I view his weakness there.
Right.
Which is that I feel like sometimes he lacks the really wide vision that you need in the midfield. I do think he can be gritty. In fact, this move where he piled into Alex Albon, I think was actually too gritty. In that he was like, oh, I'm just going to slide past, I think it was Behrman. I'm going to slide past Behrman, but I'm not going to look far enough ahead down the road to see that Alex Albon is around an apex and is not going to be able to move nor see you. So I don't think it's a lack of grit. I think it was a lack of road awareness.
Which is stupidity.
I will not go that far. You know, I delivered a strong criticism.
You did. But I don't know how else to say it. I don't think that was grit. I think that was... Inexperience isn't even the right word. I think it was
just
unintelligent,
a mistake, like a really bad mistake.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was not very smart of him.
But I think who was not very smart, or actually in hindsight, was the McLaren tire strategy because they started them on intermediates.
Yes.
We had a very wet morning to the race day in Montreal, but pretty much all other teams at the front of the field, principally, were aware of the fact that the track was dry. Bone dry, as some people might have said.
This is one of those things where, like, when you're in the meeting together and you are, you're like, hey, what tire strategy should we do? Yeah. It looks like it might be wet. Let's go on the chance that we can go on inters and we can beat everybody. And then you're on the track and you're like,
In fact, we heard that in real time.
Yep.
He didn't say that word, but Oscar Piastri was like, y'all, this isn't good.
Wrong strategy.
Bring me in. And
and they did right away.
No, they didn't. They could have brought him in on the multiple formation laps. There were 3.
Well, then he would have started from the pit lane.
Yeah, but I think he would have had warm tires, and I think he could have made more of a dent than he ended up doing.
All right.
And so I think it was absolutely the right call to, at the very least, split the strategy and pull one of them in.
Yeah.
But as we know, McLaren will never do that.
Yeah.
Unless it's to the detriment of Oscar Piastri. But it's fine.
Fighting words. Well, fine. Let's talk about how great of a start Lando Norris had, because that start was chef's
kiss. Indeed. That was like the thing that I put in all caps on my notes. Hello, World Driver Champion Lando. Because that was a beautiful move.
It was beautiful. How dare they fuck up his beautiful start with inters? How dare they?
I heard someone say, never has a driver been more grumpy to be in the lead. Because you know that Lando knows this is not a tenable position.
Yeah.
Despite the fact that he zoomed right to the front in that gorgeous move, he's then like, well, I'm on the wrong tires. And then, despite the fact that he continued to have a difficult race, but a well-driven race, it then ended in a car issue.
Yeah.
And then Piastri, as we know, torpedoed Alex Albon and ended up outside the points. So basically, McLaren fans, I'm sorry, this was not a fun weekend for you.
Yeah.
If you need any help in terms of what coping looks like during the aftermath of a race, you can message me. As a Ferrari fan, I am certified in this.
So, I mean, is this an appropriate time to just have a moment of silence for our 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 DNFs?
Yeah.
For the race. I would love for like Sarah McLachlan's In the Arms of the Angels in the background. Okay, so here we go. First one to retire because he was stuck in neutral in one of the 15 restarts that we saw at the beginning of the race. Arvid Lindblad. R.I.P. Alex Albon.
I'm trying to just go down the list, but instead, number one, Arvid had a spectacular weekend ahead of this. I'm so upset
Yes,
that
he
his
did.
race ended this way.
Yes, he did.
Alex Albon, this was not his only piece of bad luck.
That poor man, I think he has 1 point this year.
The fact that he hit a groundhog earlier in the weekend.
Oh,
Yeah.
not during the race.
Not
though.
during the race, but during, I'm sorry, there were so many sessions, I'm actually losing which one it was. And then was torpedoed by Oscar Piastri, like, my God. Anyway, let's go down the never-ending list.
Okay, then I'm going to insert moment of silence for Gary the Groundhog.
Yeah, good.
R.I.P. Gary.
This was Gary Jr., because I think Gary last year was Lewis Hamilton's.
Oh, good. This is Gary the second. Okay, Alonso. It would not be a good race without Alonso retiring.
They apparently had to retire him because he was in too much pain. Let's move on.
Okay. George Russell. Villain era. Succeeded. Achieved. Checkmark.
Here we go.
Lando Norris. Stuck in neutral.
Okay, sad. Okay, moving on. Let's do some standouts, shall we?
Wait, I'm not done.
Oh, God.
Sorry.
Who am I missing?
Sergio Perez. Y'all, I had such high hopes for the Cadillac. It is beautiful. And you know what? It is literally falling apart on track. They were like, oh, it's a suspension issue. No. He didn't like hit a curb and that damaged the suspension. If you want, it's literally the car's falling off.
He like drove over his front wing. I think it was like the little Disney knees in the pit lane where his front axles were just like towards each other. Like, oh.
And then I would like to give a little special award to the marshal who ran on track to get the piece of machinery. And you know what he did? He climbed over the fence, got the piece of machinery as fast as his legs could carry him, and he ran back so fast that he launched himself head first over the fence.
It was like a dive roll. If
And
you
the
guys
legs-
are dancers, like
The legs were like coming out from. If you're watching this on YouTube, you get to see. But that's what happened, and I want to give that man a medal.
Yes.
Sir, you are a gentleman and a scholar.
10/10 would recommend 5 stars. Kudos.
Always.
You get all of our accolades. I loved it.
All right. Do you want to talk about Lewis Hamilton?
Yeah. When we talk about standouts of this weekend, Lewis Hamilton is maybe the first that's going to come to mind for me. This was, as he said, his best weekend in Ferrari. Like, it almost could not have gone better. I think he could have gotten pole, potentially. But he messed up the lap a little bit on the last one, so he had to abort that lap. But the fact that he was second on the podium, sorry, Elaine, close your ears, but passed Max Verstappen to be there.
This is one of the reasons I wish we had watched the race together.
I
Because
know.
us screaming at the TV together, everything.
It would have been chaos in the best way. It would have been a lot of fun. But that move at the end, it was actually looking not on for a long time because Lewis was back there and was driving a good race, but it looked like he had nothing left to give to push forward to Max.
Yes.
And then all of a sudden, it was like you could see him click into that mode. The body language of the car this whole weekend was like alive, excited in a way that I feel like we haven't really seen Lewis's car in a long minute. And then he was just firing up to the back of Max. And I was like, yeah, but it's Max. So I don't know if this is going to be on here. And then it passed him.
I have to say, that was a beautiful battle. That was a beautiful battle. Yeah. It really was. And I have nothing bad to say.
Y'all, mark it on. There's like... In the timeline of Legs Out, this is massive. This might overshadow our founding.
And I mean, this is what... agreed. And this is why at the beginning of our episode, I said this gave me faith back in Formula One. I've yet to watch all the way through a cool down room with rapt attention.
Yeah.
I have never been so focused on the end ceremony as I was with the way that Hamilton and Verstappen were talking to each other with admiration, respect, joy, happiness for Kimi Antonelli.
Yeah.
Antonelli really just wanted to chat with his big brother Max, was like compare notes, and all Lewis wanted to do was lift him up.
He gets the wholesome award for me this weekend because you had the moment where he physically lifted up Kimi Antonelli in a hug. after they got out of their cars. And then you have what I think will truly, I think this is a thing, become an absolute iconic photo.
Yes.
When they are on the podium. You have a 4-time world driver champion in Max Verstappen, a 7-time world driver champion in Lewis Hamilton, and who I strongly believe will have a number of titles to his name later, Kimi Antonelli. I think that's going to be one of those photos that we look at and are like, what a moment in history.
Yeah.
I'm like giving myself chills. And then I'm not done with the wholesomeness, because Lewis Hamilton's brother, Nicholas Hamilton, who has cerebral palsy and has like made his way into this amazing driving career, he got his first podium in, I think, British touring. And so it was just like an incredible weekend for the Hamilton family. And I'm not done because his mom was there.
His mother, I love her.
She's so
I love her.
sweet.
I don't agree with her. She was clapping furiously when Hamilton passed Max. And wait, whereas I have nothing negative to say about it because it was beautiful and everything felt well. I think Hamilton got lucky, because if that battle, if they had started that battle later in the race, Max would have kept the place, I think.
Why?
Because I think there was a point where Max's car just could not keep up. It just couldn't.
I think that was kind of the whole weekend.
That's the whole point, yeah. And so, I love the yo-yo battle between Kimi and Russell, and I think it would have gone on the entire race, and that's fun to watch. I wish there were more cars I wish all the cars were on more even footing.
Okay, yeah.
It just feels like there's this giant diaspora, which I know happens sometimes. I enjoyed when Max was 20 seconds ahead of every single race. I can understand how that would be boring for some people.
Yeah. I actually still had a great time that season, but I mean, as we have said many times, there's so many storylines up and down the grid every weekend.
Yeah.
And so I think regardless of what's happening, it's fun. But the fact that the storyline is happening at the front of the field is like, that is everything that I want. I do want to give one more shout out. Franco Colapinto would have gotten my driver of the weekend.
Yeah.
I then saw a little thing after the race that I was like, oh, I gotta demote you a tiny bit. But I'm first gonna give him his kudos.
Okay.
Because the man outdrove his teammate Pierre Gasly, who's kind of handily beat him for their entire teammate-ship.
Yes.
And just was like in the points both races this weekend.
Yes.
Really, really standout performance from him. The tiny thing that I saw is that under the virtual safety car, he pit, and as he came out, completely not challenging anyone, he drove into the wall, and it very much could have like broken the car.
Yeah.
And he himself, he said, "Yo soy idiota." Idioto? Sorry, please pardon my Spanish, but he definitely was disparaging himself on the radio.
Yeah.
That was some like strong luck. But that aside, we're just gonna like sweep that under the rug and still say, what a freaking performance from him.
Yep.
And we skipped the newsroom because we were like, oh my God. Canada. But a huge thing for the Alpine team.
Yes.
I don't actually know if you've seen this because you are a good human and you are not stuck to social media and you were teaching classes this morning. Have you seen that Alpine now has a new title sponsor from 2027? Gucci. Gucci is joining the grid next year.
For Alpine?
For Alpine.
Oh.
Yes. Fat stacks of cash. That's what that is.
Pretty cash.
Pretty cash. Designer cash.
Okay.
Yes. They are replacing BWT as the title sponsor.
Nice.
In what is guesstimated to be like a $50 to $60 million investment per year, which is up from the expected $30 million from BWT. So this is actually like, Alpine might be moving up, y'all. Like, this might be great.
You know, I could only like it more if they finally fired, what's his face?
Briatore.
Briatore!
But I actually think never, because if you were listening to our Team Principal series, you will recall that Briatore has been in a racing and fashion house collaboration before with Benetton, as Elaine very wonderfully brought to us, and it worked out real well. Really well. Michael Schumacher. We got some great racing out of that team.
Until he embezzled millions of dollars.
Sure.
Into an offshore account and then hid from the authorities in the Cayman Islands.
Yeah!
Woo! Sorry, maybe Bahamas. He was on a tropical island being like, fuck you, you can't reach me.
And here we are today, and this time it's Gucci.
I'm thrilled for them, really.
I actually am excited,
Yeah, Franco looked spectacular this weekend. Agreed.
Speaking of looking spectacular, a quick side jaunt. If you bring on a fashion house, you will probably be doing some like fashion modeling, right? Do you think Pierre or Franco?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, Pierre is the answer. But let's...
I think Franco is rather attractive. He's young.
He's got a like glimmer to him.
He's got this. I like the little. I don't know. He's got a je ne sais quoi that I quite enjoy. I quite enjoy. Also, apparently, he likes older women.
Yeah, you brought that bit of information to us when we did his very first like driver intro.
That's right.
And I, frankly, have not kept up on any of his dating things.
Me neither. I'm gonna be honest.
So who knows? Maybe he's completely reversed. But at the time, yeah, it seemed as if that was the case. But this is going to be a good turn of fortune, I think, for that team. That does not exclude the Mercedes, the Toto Wolff buy-in rumors, nor the Christian Horner buy-in rumors. So we will see how this develops, but I think this is ultimately great news for Alpine.
Good. Yes. I feel like I could continue talking about this for another hour.
Yeah.
But this feels like the logical place. When's our next race, Rachel?
Our next race is Monaco. Oh, I'm so excited. We have a break week, and then we have Monaco, which I know everyone has strong feelings one way or the other about, but clearly mine are positive. And
because she's been there.
Because I've been there. Please do not get sick of the content I'm going to share from a year ago. It is... Despite the fact that it is maybe not the best race to watch on TV, it was an absolutely incredible experience to be there in person. So if you're going to be there, send us pictures. I'm going to have the largest amount of FOMO, but it is in 2 weeks. And that kicks off my favorite leg of the entire F1 season when you're talking about like getting faith again. Yeah. This is the time that I'm like, we're in the European leg. We got Monaco, we have Austria, we have Silverstone, like the amount of tracks that are going to come up that are superstars have me effervescent with excitement.
For Clint. Effervescent with excitement?
Yeah, that's maybe not the most...
No, I love... She's bubbly water. Ugh, that was so fun. That was such a good episode.
Such a fun time chatting with you.
Chatting with you?
Chatting...
And so don't worry, we will be back next week, as Rachel mentioned, with a very special guest.
Yes. So we're really excited to interview Madge Merrill next week. Like I said, author of 2 books, and hopefully counting. I'm just going to throw that out into the ether. Also a fashion journalist of many talents. There are a lot of things that we're going to be able to ask and talk about reading and motorsports, and I'm over the moon. I can't wait.
It's always nice to meet a fellow F1 fangirl.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you for listening. Please rate, review, subscribe if you haven't already. I already am like generating some ideas. I want to put Russell next to our favorite little blue guy from Monsters, or purple guy.
Yeah, Randall
Russell is here, y'all. He's in his full era. Anyway, Rachel always comes up with some exciting content, so make sure you're following us on Instagram, and we'll be back next week.
Yes, I can't wait. We'll see you then.
So with that, it's legs out. And away we go. We'll see you next time.